Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the round 2 of Toga Sprint GT3s. Just seeing the last couple of minutes of qualifying, of free practice, and then we'll jump into qualifying. Last week was first round at Suzuka. This round is in Red Bull Ring. Just a few people going out and champions and laps in the various cars that they have this week. Hello, peoples on YouTube. Yes, Sam is out there. He's currently in the pits, but is out there in a Porsche as usual. Various vehicles are going reasonably quickly tonight. What are we on? 28.5 at the end of the this free practice session. with a good mix of cars. Tonight, as I say, it's a nice simple one. It's a 60-minute race. Mandatory pit stop for fuel, but no minimum refueling time. So it is basically down to how fast you can drive and how much you can stay out of trouble. So nice and simple. Yeah, we're at the Red Bull Ring this week. Last week was at Suzuka. Suzuka was a good one. Was rather exciting. Lots going on all over the place. So it will. We're hoping for some good, solid action. But with hopefully not too much for the stewards to do. So they can finish off the colouring books. So yeah, we're just coming to the end of free practice. We just have to do a quick server reset of the error, and we are good to go. So we'll just let the last couple of cars finish up and go from there. Hello, Charlie. There is theoretically a red flag for tonight. Should there be one needed, so anything within 20% in the first two sectors goes out in one big accident, then there will be a red flag. So only get one of those. So yeah, it's going to be anybody bins it or does something dumb and causes carnage the first two corners, really. Well, technically on the map it's turn 1. The hairpin at the top of the hill is technically turn 3. As absolutely everybody piles out the pits there. All in one go. Most of the field has just bailed out the pits there. Lovely. Love to see it. All nice and eager. They've got 20 minutes for the quali, so plenty of time to get plenty of space on track. Please let us know if there's any audio issues. It is just myself tonight. There is... it was a bit of a last minute one. So basically everybody went, can't make it. So, yeah, just us tonight. So let's hope we can have a nice chilled one. It's been an absolute beautiful day where we are in the UK. And, yeah. Hello, David. I presume you're here to keep an eye on Morganella in the VM Racing BMW, wherever that car's gone. What's number 6 gone on the timing sheets? Where is number 6? I'm being blind. Why can I not see number 6 on the timing sheet? Apparently I can't see number 6 on the timing sheet. Yeah, hopefully you can get back in before the end of qualifying. Yeah, turn 3, it's a bit of an awkward one. There's a massive crest in the middle of the corner. And it's a really, really sharp lump as you go over the middle of it. So it's very easy to just bottom the car out and spin it. So late... yeah, making sure you're clear of that on the exit is a really, really useful thing to do. Otherwise it will just bottom these cars out. They are so low to the floor. A lot of them, the front ends are somewhere around the 50 odd mil mark, so like 2 inches off the deck. So yeah, they are particularly low, and I believe most of them are running below 4 inches off the deck on the back end. So I think most are running 2 to 3, but So what's that? That's about 50 to 75 mil as an extreme spread, I would have thought. I don't think anybody's really going to be running more than that. I don't think there's anything that is happy running more than that. Yeah, I'm literally just blathering on and seeing. We do have some fantastic liveries out there. Mr. Brackstad is out in his happy place in a Porsche and has a fantastic Rusty's Lightning McQueen livery on that one. So that's a rather fun one to see. Good to see people not taking life too seriously. As we are starting to see lap times come through, we have Vanbrugh, we're in first with a 1:28.237 as the first of the flyers, legal flyers, to come through. Release the fastest of the legal flyers, followed by Tempest with a 1:28.310. So not a lot of a gap there. 0.073 between the top two. Still under 0.2 between the top three with a 1:28.425. Something tells me this is going to be a bit of an exciting qualifying when these laps start coming through. There's not going to be a lot between anybody. There certainly was in the practice server when, before the race server went live. There was not a lot, and it was barely seconds covering, I think, most of the field. So, yeah, should be good fun. I'm hoping video quality and all is okay. It looks reasonable. I'm hoping it's not jumping around that much for yourselves. So maybe a sec. I'll just do a quick look at the street. Not dropped in the frames. Apparently. That looks a bit skittish. Don't tell me like cards have it there. I'm going to bring Discord back up and everything else, and hopefully not looking at that screen is going to help matters there. So, let's see if we can get through the top 10 before it changes. Probably not, but we'll give it a go. 10th is Krilln in the Audi with a 1:28.955. Radwich in 9th with a 1:28.942. Jar 1:28.727. Fernando 1:28.507. Magorski 28.497. Salma 28.425. Braxton 28.422. Vanbrugh 28.237. Hobson 28.222. Tempest 28.103. Now in qualifying, in practice, we did see some 27s it going down in during qualifying, so that will be what they're aiming for. They're looking like they might be on track by the end of this to get there, providing they can hang on to the laps. Just having looked down the timing sheets, Radwitz is on an improvement of about 2-3 tenths. Ooh. And climbing, Vandervaart? I have just had a complete death of names for a second. You've been in loads of our races. Is up by nearly a second and does indeed manage to put that lap time legally down. So that is a 29.880, and that goes puts them into 16th. Ooh, we have some penalties coming through that will be applied at the start of the race. So these will be served at their pit stop. 10 seconds for car 49 for 49 for qualifying etiquette and reckless driving. 10 seconds for car 42, not holding brakes when causing collision with car 21. 5 seconds for car 70, causing a collision with car 49. Oh dear! It's not a good one to get the stewards keeping an eye on you in qualifying. As we jump to Had, is 4 tenths up and improving, coming through the last corner. Can you make this to half a second? Not quite. Only 4 and a bit. Go 6th, 128.467 on that one. Seeing loads and loads of non-legal laps going down, as Vandiver is on another improvement. Although I say that, is this going to be one of those? No, he's still on a big improvement. Through 3 tenths faster, does improve 29.517. So just closes that, improves time, but closes the gap to the next car up. Who else have we got? You're not my legal one, but you're improving. No. Track limits here are really brutal. There's like a good chunk of curb and runoff area. As we see plenty of people providing exactly what that is. They do put sausage curbs out there to dissuade you from using it, but it makes it a little bit interesting. I apologise, I'm struggling to pronounce your name. Mark, I'm going to go with that. You were a long way up. You were like 6 tenths up, but you would have lost a bunch of time. Coming down into there as... that was a bit tight on everybody. It looks like Brackstad has had to check up. I think Brackstad and Mark are playing Follow My Leader to try and get a decent lap in, although it does look like Mark has now parked it and jumped back to the pits. So I presume they will go back out shortly. There we go. For another one. You've just crossed the line. You're already a 10th and a half up. No, you've just crossed the line, gone over a 10th up, and 128. So this is Fernando in the McLaren 28.365. Nobody has quite managed to break into the 27s just yet. The outright lap, fastest lap at the moment is still Tempest with that 28.103. Actually holding the fastest middle sector, but sector 3 being held by Vanbrugh, and sector 1, being held by Hobson in the McLaren, in the Ford, in the Mustang. So yes, we do have a couple of those out. Hobson and Salma are both... Oh, you did not want me to cut to that, did you? Well done, my friend. Well done indeed. Comes around, gets it on the curb, and Ford Mustang twitch and gets it rotated. Nicely parked off the racing line, though. Well done. So well done there. That was rather impressive. We're under 10 minutes to go now. Yeah, so that's the 2 Mustangs. One of them beautifully pirouetting for us. Magwalski in the Honda, the sole Honda out there for this series. Actually an underrated car. It could do with probably about another 10-15 horsepower. Who knows? Unfortunately, it wasn't an improvement and has just dropped all that time. That's a shame. You're improving, but not on a legal lap. Afia is improving, but not a huge amount. Junior is also improving by a good chunk of time. Oh my goodness, there is a... I'll go through those after qualifying. There is going to be a few penalties turn up at the start of the race. Junior is going to go 2.5 tenths quicker. Yes, does indeed. Jumps to 13th to 129.115. Parks it, obviously wants a fresh set of tyres. Who else do we have out there? Coltrini, you're improving as well. Your car looks absolutely mangled. How have you managed to get your car that mangled in qualifying? Well done. Yeah, so it's a 60-minute race today. Like I said, it's only mandatory pit stop, but there's no minimum refueling time. So it's just how fast can you get your stop done. It is it is a bit toasty out there. It is 34 degrees track temperature and 27 air, so yeah, brakes and tyres might be kind of moaning at you a little bit after a few laps, so that may very well be why we're seeing the lap times as they are. I'm staring at this on like a 30 odd inch screen, so I have... It's a long way up to the top of my screen. You're 4/10 up, but you're not actually on a legal lap, Tons. So, as impressive of a time that is, if you can hook that up, which they do, hang on. Did that go me? I didn't think that was a legal lap. Apparently it might have been, and you jumped to 14th, and you were down in 20-something, so very well done there. 129.152. So... Yep, we'll go through all those between qualifying and race. As I say, there's going to be a few penalties coming through. There's a lot of red on this timing screen. I'm seeing on both columns red on the timing screens. Hobson still holds the fastest first sector. Middle sector has actually gone to McGrawski in that Honda. I can completely believe that. That thing is a weapon through the corners. You can chuck it in with way too much speed. I don't know how it hangs on. With a 38.715 second middle sector. It is the longest sector on the track, time-wise, and Sector 3 is still being held by Vanbrugh with 26.907, so unfortunately I don't have a breakdown of what their laps look like, because I'm guessing it's the Honda's just lost it on the straights. It's not the fastest in a straight line. Unfortunately. So it's good through the corners, but not quite as quick as you'd like in a straight line. And we have another one. We have Smith in the Ford as well. That wonderful British Racing Green Cup. That's a chrome green. Very lovely. I hope people are... I apologise if not all of people's liveries are syncing. I did resync... Awesome Sim Racing earlier on, about 10 to 7 tonight, so I did it a couple of times, hoping that it would do something. I think it may have updated a couple of them, but apologies if yours is not showing. Tempest is 2/10 up. Which one are you? 137, you're the one in the lead here, of these two black McLarens. Can you hang on to this being a couple of tenths up, losing a little bit down the straight? I think got a little bit hung up on that corner with the car behind, but it makes up a big chunk of time through the middle, on the brakes and through the middle of that corner. Managed to hold most of it through this next corner, coming down to this infield middle section of the track into Sector 3. Sector 2, Sector 3, still over 2.5 tenths up now, coming down through, that's turn 7, turn 8, something like that, dropping down the hill here. This is a surprisingly steep downhill braking zone into a very fast corner. It's a lot of just scrub the brakes, chuck it in and hope that the car sticks. It's over 3.5 tenths up now, so goes 27.662. That is a mark and a half. Brackstad has gone faster and was just about in the lead with a 28.052, but has just been pipped there by about 4 tenths. That's a heck of a margin to put down with 3 minutes to go, as Tempest goes back out, thinking they can do a bit more on that one. Salma is just gone up into third with 28.202. So right at the death here, the times are starting to fall now for everybody. Smith in the other in that chrome Mustang is 2 tenths up on their best time, so they're looking to go 28.5, which is going to jump them 2 or 3 places. It could jump them well into the top 10. 4 tenths up now, so that's seriously quick. Very well done. Let's see if we can hang on to that one. 5 tenths. You are flying in that monster. 5.5 tenths now, coming through the last corner. Can they keep it in a straight line off the back of that one? They can indeed. 6.5 tenths up. That is a hell of a run. That puts them into third of the 28.125. Very well done, my friend, and they're still going for it. They're up again by almost a tenth. That lap still being legal as well. Time's slipping away. I think they went a little deep on the brakes into that first one. They didn't quite get the drive on the exit. What can they do here coming into the top of the circuit now? On the brakes, loses a bit of time. Can they make it up on the exit? No, not quite. They are now hemorrhaging time down, unfortunately. They are still within reasonable distance, or within touching distance. They could improve, still improve reasonably well. As it looks like Salma has parked it and won't be going back out again. They are now just about going green. Lap is still legal, so any improvement is going to do something. It's a very tight margin. They're chasing a 28.052 of Brackstad there, who is, I believe, on an outlap looking at that time. So any improvement there is going to be potentially a place gained. They're now 200ths up, which should be not quite enough. 300ths. Half a second. Can they hold? What can they hold through this last corner? It goes faster again. Is about half a tenth up. What can they do? Not quite. Closes that gap right up with 28.087 there. Still with 28 seconds on the clock. So they're going to go out again and see if they can improve. We have had in that Ferrari number 27 is on an improvement again. 1.5 tenths up now coming into this middle section of the track. Drop down the hill. It's a bit of a blind apex into that one. It's not nice in these low slung GT3s. Chuck it in, and again there's a chunk of these corners which you have to kind of point the car where the track should be and hope it's still there and it sticks. Still an improvement. What else have we got out there? Donkhawk is on an improvement of 3.5 tenths as well. And Had has gone non-legal on that lap, unfortunately. Didn't see what that was. I wasn't looking at the screen. Donkhawk is on an improvement. Still on a legal lap. Crosses the line, goes into 13th of 128.915, so breaks that 128 mark. And that looks like Smith is still out there and is 2 tenths, was 2 tenths up, has lost a bunch of time. Got on the brakes a little early, I think, for that one. Was about 2 tenths up coming into that last corner, but does now jump Brackstad for second with a 128.005. Tempest out there as well, still on an improvement. Not much of one. Nope. Oh, gets it. Loses the back end at the last corner, and that is goodbye lap time there. And that is the end of that. So, we'll run you through the a few of the penalties that are going to be coming through, and then we'll run you down through the grid. A nice big grid tonight. It's 30 cars. So, indeed, doing very well. People, so 10 seconds for car 49, reckless driving, qualifying and reckless driving. 10 seconds for car 42, not holding brakes, causing car 21 collision with car 21. 5 seconds for car 70, causing a collision with car 49. 5 seconds of car 12, causing a collision with car 64. Warning with car 87, contact with car 134. So we'll see those all get added on now. We'll run you through the grid, or as much of the grid as I can get through before the end of, before they get round to the start line. Tempest in the McLaren 137 in first. Smith. Smith is car 999 in second in the Mustang. Third for Brackstad, car 75 in the Porsche. Vanbrugh in the other McLaren, car 87. In fourth, fifth is Salma in another other Mustang, car 47. Hobson, car 31 Mustang. In sixth, seventh is Had, car 27 Ferrari. Eighth is Fernando in the McLaren, car 23. Ninth is Jar, car 30 in the McLaren. Magwalski, car in 10th in the Honda and car 971. Radowitz is in 11th with car number 11 with a Ferrari. Sorry, that caught us slightly off guard. Kriln, I'm going to go with that. In the Audi in car 21. In 13th is Donkovalk. In car 51 Ferrari. Vanbrugh in another Ferrari, car 12 in 14th. 15th is Junior, car 29 in the BMW. Tons, car 143 BMW in 16th. 17th is Mark, car 26. Afiat, car 25 Ferrari in 18th. 19th is Vangdevert, car 60. McLaren 20th is Carney in car 33 McLaren. Morganella car in 21st with car 6. Olsen in car 66 in the Ferrari. Coco in car 49 in 23rd in the McLaren. Hasler in car 784 Ferrari. Coltrini car 91 Ferrari. Liss car 777 Ferrari in 26th. Holtzman 27th, car 65. Albers in car 134 Ferrari in 28th. 29th is Kovar, car 70 Ferrari. Transky in car 64 McLaren in 30th, and 31st is Gartam in car 42 McLaren. And that rounds out the grid. So, let's hope for the best. Yes, 29 1, that's still not a bad time. Putting yourself 20th in this grid is not bad going. As we are rolling for the formation lap. I'm quite impressed that I got through all of those before the start of the formation lap. As everybody is rolling out on, it's not the longest of formation laps. As we saw, it's a 1.5 minute or less lap. Well under a 1.5 minute lap here, so not a huge amount of time to get the tyres up to temperature and make sure you're happy with the car. I mean, it's a bit late if you're not happy with the car at this point in the weekend, but hey ho. 26 air temperature, 33 track temperature. That is toasty. So this is going to be a fun one of how hard do you work your tyres on this formation lap, knowing that you're going to gain heat when the car gets loaded up in the race. So yeah, predictions, given how tight this first corner is, who's going to end up where, and is there going to be a red flag at the start of this? Gonna always ask this, particularly with turn 1 and turn 2. Turn 2, turn 3-ish? It's only called classed as turn 3 because they can chuck in an extra chicane about halfway down that run up the hill. So, yeah. I'm gonna go with that it's turn 2 because that's effectively what it is here. Yeah, turn 1, turn 2, what's the odds of a red flag because somebody tries to be too much of a hero? Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's looking like it should be good. As I say, really super close at the top end there. Second and third were covered by just hundreds. and most of the grid not covered by a whole lot, as everybody goes 2 by 2 now with their various cars, and jumps on board. So we are going to be racing very shortly. Everybody is filing up behind. This is always a fun bit. Sat in the car, just lining up, waiting for it to go, and then it goes to, you get marked where you are, and then you get your speed limit come up, and then you just sat there trying to hold where you are on the speed limit, waiting for that light to go green. It's a bit of a long hold here because the length of the distance between the line and where the lights are on the end of the first corner. And we're green! There we go, we are all racing. That is Smith taking a defensive line straight into the middle of the track there. Covers off Braxton on the outside. That has left Tempest just to run away at the front straight away. This is a battle now. Who can break the latest? Mustang versus Porsche versus McLaren into turn 2 up on top of the hill here at the top of the circuit. Mustang got away nicely. The Porsche just tucking into line there nicely. Looked pretty good. A couple of drivers dropping back. You're not supposed to be. That's a bit of a mess with what's going on there. Let's jump into. Have we gone red flag? I think we may. Have we gone red flag? Everybody is slowing up. I think we may have gone red flag looking at the state of that, because that was absolute carnage. Unfortunately, I don't have the chat open. Race chat. Well, I'm going with it. That was a red flag for the absolute mess that was. Tempest is marked as disqualified. So has Afia for that one. Drive through for Travsky on top of all the other penalties that we saw come through. So, unfortunately, didn't quite get to see what happened there, and I didn't hit the replay button quite soon enough to manage to see what happened there. I'm guessing it was just people going through. I apologise. This very much might have been commentator's curse, going, who's going to try and be a hero, and it all go wrong, and sure enough, it all went wrong. Oh well, at least it makes it interesting watching for us, mostly. So, we shall see what happens. I'm sure there will be, the stewards will be looking at that and will apportion any penalties for the restart as appropriate. And then we'll go from there. They will restart the race in just a moment. As I say, they will go through everything. They can sit there and look at all the angles and everything and make sure everything is happy and they're happy with what's going on. As I say, you only get one chance here. We're not doing this all night, so yeah. Let's see where this goes. Try and keep it on track this time. What was it? Was a race at Spa that we were commentating on that was a good one. They got through the first lap absolutely wonderfully. Come up to the top of Eau Rouge, come up through Radion, and all hell breaks loose at the end of the second lap. And there is an almighty pile up. It's just like, you could have done that last lap and you'd have been fine. But no, you decided to go and celebrate by having a massive accident. Well done. So, yeah, we shall see what happens there. Yeah, not surprised there was a big pile up. It's a very short braking zone into turn 1 because it's anybody that's driven Kota, it's very similar to that. It's very, very steep, not quite as steep, but it's still pretty steep, pretty uphill. Except there's not the space. Kota has about 40 miles of runoff area and track at the top of that hill. Here doesn't. It really doesn't. It doesn't have the runoff area on the on the left-hand side as you're going up the hill, and it's got fairly decent runoff area on the exit. Unfortunately, the track width is not the same as that hairpin at Kota, so it is very steep, very narrow, which means your braking zone is very, very short. So if you're aiming for somewhere, it's very easy to end up in the back of somebody, particularly as you all get checked up into the turn one. I hope you weren't caught up in that one, Alison, but at least we will get another chance at doing that one. Having a go. Number 11, go to... Which one's car number 11? Donkerwalk, okay. I'm not 100% sure. I'm guessing that was an infringement to the... that was spotted at the start. So we are... There we go. So we just jump back to the start, back into starting positions to give that a go. Yeah, you can pick up penalties for being out of position or too fast on the start. So you have a speed window that you should be within, and you have basically a box that you should be within based off the cars around you. If you're going too fast or you're even too slow as well, or outside of that box, you can pick up drive-throughs. You can be disqualified for being out of position, and it's deemed to be gaining an advantage. That would be why it was showing as a disqualification there. There hasn't been any penalties carried over, so we shall see what happens into the race, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it's a nice clean start. Always hope for a clean start. Unfortunately, I missed all the action. I apologise for that one. I'm doing a bad job as a commentator. Having said that, the battle up at the front with everybody was quite good fun and quite impressive to watch. Indeed. Do hit that like button. It does make us feel nice and warm and fuzzy. We like feeling warm and fuzzy. Warm and fuzzy is good. Nobody on... Actually, I think we've got most of... I was going to say nothing for BLT, but then most of you lot are actually racing, so... that would be why there's nobody saying hello. And nobody really on Twitch. If anybody is watching on Twitch, please say hello. So yeah, that gives everybody a chance. Braxton actually had a half-decent start, managed to get themselves, I think, got themselves up in second. Or had they slotted back into third, going through turn 2. So yeah, we shall keep an eye on things, and we'll see what happens. Hello, Casper. Yes, and Ken Victoria. Hello. Indeed. Good luck to everybody. You're actually out in a Ferrari this time, aren't you? I've only just realised. You have made the jump from your
20 seconds.
Beloved Bentley that you've been running for I don't know how long now to the Ferrari. I hope you're enjoying it. It's a bit of a change, but I hope you're enjoying
10
it.
seconds.
There we go. So there is a bunch of penalties come through. I'll run through these whilst we are running around on the formation lap. So 10 seconds car 46, causing red flag instant on lap 1. 5 seconds car 33 for not reacting to red flag, causing a collision with car 26, lap 1. 30 seconds of car 25, causing a major collision during red flag. Oh no, lap 1. 10 seconds of car 29, causing a collision during the red flag, lap 1. Oh dear. Oh, hello David. You're watching on both. We are rolling. So obviously any of the penalties that were picked up from qualifying will also carry over as well, plus any of the new ones, as we see a... I don't even know what to call that, as a mash between a Ford and a McLaren. A Flaren? A Milord? I don't know. I am just hypothetically just mucking about here because we're just going through the going through everything. It's always funny seeing them in the pits and just seeing like if they're on a maximum number of vehicles or the grid slip, the pit boxes are being shared. You end up with sort of odd combinations of cars. You end up with rear wings where you don't expect them. Or slightly strange ones. The one that works really well is the Bentley inside of a BMW, and it just looks a bit weird, but it sort of works. As we see the McLaren there running with all its lights ablaze. It's not dark, mate, but I mean, to be honest, sometimes it can be helpful if you've got a lapped car in front of you. Have your lights on, it makes it nice and obvious that you are coming up behind them. It is important to have your HUD on, so that you know when people are close, or something that tells you how close people are behind you, particularly in the instances where you've got blue flags. So you know the gaps. Blue flags here are anybody within 0.4 of a second. It is the responsibility of both drivers to do that safely, to allow the lapping car to go through safely, but also for the lapping car to go through safely as well. Once you're within 0.4 of a second of each other. So 2x2 running down into the last corner now. Everybody hopefully getting their cars and tyres up to temperature, making sure your brakes are up to temperature, and everything is nice and happy and hunky-dory. As we see these first few cars rolling. Oh, I'm actually going to follow the Porsche of Blackstad. Blackstad seems to have jumped.
Green light, show them where to go.
I'm not sure. I think it's having a bit of a funny 5 minutes. Smith does exactly the same thing, holds it. Ooh, bit of door banging between Smith and Vanbrugh there. But Vanbrugh gets through, and that drops Smith down into 5th behind Hobson, right into his gaggle of cars with 2 Fords, McLaren, or 3 Fords, sorry, and 2 McLarens. 2 into 1 into that space isn't going to work all that well. Everybody gets through there cleanly. I'm not seeing too much in the way of mess initially on that. It looks like everybody got through the first couple of corners. Another nice big awkward downhill braking zone into this one, as we see the battle is going somewhere. It looks like Jar has got past Had there, as Krilln in the Audi has dropped back behind Donkerwalk, and there is places being traded all over the place. As it looks like Morganella has lost out, possibly gained it back to Pateron in the Ferrari, I think so, as Krilln is dropping like a stone now, goes back down to 14th place there, as the battle at the front is not going anywhere in the slightest. Everybody is just running one behind the other. Brackstad is going for it. 0.3 of a second, goes for it a little bit on the brakes. Gets a bit dragged. That Ferrari hasn't quite got the legs on the McLaren going up the hill. Hopefully can close that gap back down on the road. Right onto the tail there. Hopefully can stay in the tow. Get right up behind that McLaren and see what he can manage to do. Fernando Jar is on the march. Jar has managed to get up another place as Smith goes past Salma there, as well as Smith Smith being held around the outside there, and Salma gets back past. Smith is on the inside of this next corner. That is, you're alongside, give space. Space is very much given, very well done, although that has left the Mustang a little bit out of position. Is now under fire from the McLaren behind. So this is going to be tricky. Can the Mustang make a move without putting themselves at risk of being overtaken by the Ford and losing a play? Sorry, make a move on the Ford without being overtaken by the McLaren behind. And that second McLaren awaiting in the wings of Fernando in there as well. What else have we got going on? We have Krul on the back of Vandenberg, I think it is, who is also right on the back of the Mark in the Porsche, and then it's a bit of a gap, but then Tont is right on the back of Magwalski there in the Honda as well. Just loses a little bit on the exit there, as that Honda just punches out of that corner beautifully. Had has now dropped back behind Elias, behind Fernando there, but that is, I honestly don't know where to look. Jacques has managed to pick up a drive-through, so not quite sure what that's for. I'm guessing that is for being slightly out of position at the start, as we don't really give drive-throughs or anything unless you've done something very serious. Brekstad now is right on the tail of Tempest here. Let's jump back with this one. That was down to 0.1 of a second between the two of them, as it just strings out a little bit through the faster sections. That McLaren does have a decent chunk of go on it in comparison, but the Porsche, as per usual, can just close up on the brakes. Much better exit this time round. Keeps that gap down, keeps that gap right down and into that 3/10 now. What can be done? This is it's not close enough to make a big dive, but can certainly challenge. Actually gets a bit checked up, closes the gap more than was expecting, I think there. Gets a touch checked up behind Tempest there and loses a chunk of time. As Magwalski is right on the tail of Fernando now, as Morganella has lost out to Coltrini there as well. So Magwalski is going for it, right up the inside, gets the car turned in, gets it hooked up. Can Fernando dive around the outside? Drops it in deep on the brakes, can make good racing etiquette by both drivers. Given space is given and allowed. Little bit of a slide through the middle of that corner. That's an easy thing to do in that car. It does occasionally like to suddenly come over all Japanese and go very sideways. It's quite controllable when it does, but that has now dropped Magwalski into the clutches of Tont in that BMW. So who's got what down the straight now? That's gone from being the attacker to being attacked now as they come down the pit straight, and that BMW has got some grunt in the straight line. It's a late braking move, and BMW bobbles that inside curb, sausage curb, and drops back even further, now putting Tons under fire from Barbara in the Ferrari. Doesn't quite have the go to get underneath on the brakes into this turn 2 hairpin at the top of the course. Whew, that looks like that's vaguely sorted itself out. Bartek missed the start. What car were they in? I don't know what car they were in. If you can let us know what car number or what... I haven't seen that one. Krona has just... Oh. Are you serving your pit stop? Did you have... Bounty, there's a couple of cars. I'm assuming you... That's a couple of cars that aren't Donkerwalk and Afia are both showing a serve their pit stops. I'm assuming they either had some contact that we didn't see and needed to fix some damage, or they were dealing with penalties. I think there's a couple of people that ended up with some penalties, possibly, and they're just clearing those and are now just going to run to the end on whatever they've got. So those two have now made pit stops as well. So I didn't see what happened to Donkerwalk. We've been following everything else. It looks like they might be possibly a lap down already, so that would suggest damage there well and truly, unfortunately, as Hasler is going very, very slow. He just got absolutely mugged by Holtzman there. That Ferrari does not look happy. It is running very, very slowly. I don't know what's going on there. It looks like it might have got back up to speed there. Possibly had a bit of an altercation with Holtzman and letting them back past. I don't know. That was very strange. Albers. Gartem is up with Carney now. And manages, Carney makes that one stick on Gartem through there, and that looks like that's a done deal there. How is this battle up the front? Braxton has just dropped back a little bit now from Tempest. I wonder if he's just trying to protect those rear tyres on that Porsche, particularly as the weight will burn off over the course of this race. The fuel weight burns off and starts to make that car handle very differently from how it started. As Smith is right on the back of Salma, and we see Tons and Nagorski. Tons has got the drive going up the pits, up the straight there, up to turn 2. Little bit of a touch, just all get a little bit stacked up going through there. No harm done. Everybody makes it out of there in one piece, all low speed, nothing major. But that is going to be an interesting one. So that Honda not quite as happy through through these high speed sections as high speed straights as the BMW is. As we look at Smith, who is right on the back of Salma still. Desperately trying to get back under that rear wing and make something happen there after the first lap incident and just being dropped back there. As we see Morganella having a bit of a look around, having a little bit of a look around on Coltrini. Not really close enough to make a mistake, but if they can upset them... Ooh, Coltrini runs very wide on the exit there. Still out in front, but is extending that gap as Junior gets past Carney now, and that is Day sorted there. And ahead, this Magorski-Tons battle. Bambra is now right on the back and has got Mark there in the Porsche for company as well. I'm hoping the stream is done. Looks like it is. That's good. Wonderful. As Mark tried to get past Bambra, but couldn't quite make it stick by the looks of things. As we see Albers in another Ferrari is just going backwards now in that Porsche. Tries to get back underneath for a little bit of a cutback on McLaren of Coco, but can quite make it work. But McLaren's running wide across the curbs. Rattles it a little bit, can't quite make it happen. Coco can't really do anything on the brakes down into down the hill there or into that hairpin. But Albers has a little bit of a wiggle on the curb, and that lets Coco have a bit of a drive up the inside. Who's got the pace here? Albers on the outside can't quite hang on to that one. Coco has a bit of a wiggle themselves. That car looking like both cars looking like they've been in the wars a bit as well. So not looking quite as factory fresh as they started. And that is Coco through. I say that. Coco has an absolutely massive wiggle. What on earth happened there? Coming down through this fast right-hander. Goes out wide, hits the curb. The car's already on the move before they even hit the curb. The car gets hooked up on the curb. Try to catch it, chase it across the road. And unfortunately they are away and into the barrier as we see Jar out for... Oh, you have been disqualified. Don't know what that's for. Car 13. That is that one disqualified. Oh, you got in trouble. Car 13 disqualified. Dangerous rejoin causing multiple contacts. Lap 3. Oh, you did not do well with the stewards. That didn't see what that was. That was quite significant to have got you disqualified there. There has been a few. I've just noticed this on the timing screens. As Junior and Liss there, as Junior gets up the inside, coming down into penultimate corner here, is nicely through and clear. That was beautifully done. Gets the switchback coming through the middle of the course and runs up the inside there. Brackstad's dropped back now to the tune of 1.5 seconds. It's starting to almost come under risk being under fire from Vanbrugh now, so I'm wondering if that Porsche is now having to save its tyres, possibly more than they'd like. More than they'd like with that one. So, as I say that, as Vanden Vert goes past Salma now in that Mustang. That Mustang has had a big hit. Your bonnet should not be that far up, and your bumper should not be that far in the floor. You're having a bad time. I would recommend diving for the pits and getting that fixed, because, yeah, that's not a fun time. Genuinely, if you'd managed to do that in that, looks like they are going to dive for the pits. If you'd managed to do that IRL, you would have destroyed your radiator in that car, so at least we don't have that to worry about in this game. Accidents aren't quite as devastating. Well, they are in the sense that you don't get the safety cars and what have you. Gets it slowed down nicely there. Unfortunately, you're going to go backwards. That looks like you're parking it for the day. Oh, that's a shame. That looks like you may be parking it for the day. You're doing very well. Right, yes, we shall run through some of the penalties as they are all coming through now. Some will be served post-race. Anybody that has already made a pit stop will be served post-race. Anything that has been served, that hasn't been served and they have a pit stop to make will be served during the pit stop. So, 30 seconds car 6 causing a collision with car 49. Ooh, Vanbrugh is starting to really close in on Brackstad now. 10 seconds car 25 causing collision with car 33 on lap 1. 10 seconds car 64 causing collision with car 70 on lap 2. Warning of car 784 missing braking point and contact. We know car 30 was disqualified. 5 seconds car 42 causing collision with car 134 lap 3. 5 seconds car 64 pushed to pass on car 70. 10 seconds car 134 causing collision with car 49. Warning for car 64 dangerous rejoin lap 9. That's everything for now, as Bamber is going for a move on Magłowski there. Can't quite make that stick up the inside, but has Mark got anything on the inside as well? Gone for a move. It looks like they might be about to lose a place instead of gaining one in that one. So who's got the legs going down here on into the top turn 2? Porsche's on the inside. Holds them out wide, gets a decent drive on the exit. Bamber rattles the curb quite hard. Rob loses a bit of speed. That has given Magłowski a hell of a run both of these cars that they've been battling, and they have run away. Magorski has run away to the tune of half a second. These two up the road, and these two are now nose to tail coming down through the middle of the circuit. Looks like Mark just runs wide through that first section, loses a bit of speed. Can Van Brom capitalise on this? Not quite, can't quite get close enough. Porsche gets itself turned in quite nicely into the second half of that corner and makes that one stick, as that leaves Bamber having to check up slightly and now puts them in danger of being picked off by Simon in the McLaren, as runs a bit wide, gets a little slide on but manages to hang on to it, so that's all clear there. Well, that's that battle broken up. Smith and Hobbs now are two of the Mustangs are. That's been a big change. Smith and Hobbs were a fair distance apart, and they are now basically trying to occupy the same piece of track. This could get interesting. Car 31, car 99 now on that one, and Vanbrugh is right on the back of Brackstad as well. I really think that Ferrari, that Porsche might be struggling a little bit with its, I'm assuming its rear tyres, coming in towards the last, in towards 20 minutes gone on this race with 40 minutes to go. So I'm wondering if that car's having to just check up a little bit and play a little bit nice on its tyres to make sure they survive through, because I don't think there's going to be that many people pitting for tyres unless they've got major damage and have shredded them as a result of spinning. Oh, didn't see what that was. Which car number were you, Nycroft? Didn't see which one that was. Oh, were you the Ford that parked it? If you were the Ford, I at least saw the mess of your car afterwards. That's a shame. Car 47. Is he in the mix? Where's car 47? Car 47. Why can I not see this on the... I don't think I have the ability to go back that far, given how long it was. I can't see you in the... you left the server. That explains why I can't see you in the timing sheet. As Morganella and Radwitz, looks like Radwitz has lost... Morganella has lost out to Radwitz there. Unfortunately, Junior, although he's trying to come back a little bit, closing that gap a little bit under brakes, as, ooh, that was a big twitch by Mogilewski on the exit of that corner. What happened there? This might be a little too far back to see properly. Oh, yes. Either side of the McLaren. I think that may have been a back marker. Doesn't look like there's been any lasting advantage gained there. Mark goes for a run on the outside. Oh, that one will be looked at by the stewards well and truly there. That contact with the Honda to get past there, that will definitely be looked at. As we see, Bambara has dived into the pits. Coltrini has lost out to Junior by the looks of things. Unfortunately, Brackstad has dropped right back. He's now 2.5 seconds back from the lead. And having to navigate some of the back markers. Car 51, I think that's Donkerwalk. If I remember correctly. Yes, Donkerwalk in the BRT Ferrari there. So yeah, that's first and second and third going past 23rd to put a lap on them there. So that's how fast these guys are. This lot are going at the top of the charts here. So 6/10 back Bambara on Brackstad, 8/10 back Smith on Hobson. 9/10 back, 8 to 9/10 back for Vandover on Magorski. There's a little bit of a battle here now with Olsen and Coltrini, the two Ferraris. That was an interesting one. With Coltrini there in car 91. Coming under a little bit of pressure now from Olsen. What can Olsen do? So keep yourself, if you can get clear through here, keep in the slipstream, you might be able to do something as Olsen's diving for the pits. Fair enough. That leaves those two clear. What else have we got going on? Gartem 0.7 back from Corvair. Yeah, there is a long string of penalties. Another 5 seconds of car 51 causing a collision with car 65. BRT. 5 seconds car 26, push past on car 971. Yeah, so that was that incident we saw with the Porsche and the Honda. So that is 5 seconds for car 26. That's marked in the Porsche that has picked up that. So that will be served at their pit stop. I believe. Yeah, so that leaves that providing they have a decent stop, that probably means that Magorski will go back through on pit stops. Bambra now being the highest placed car in 17th who has made their stop. As we see Hobbs making a... Was that Hobbs? No, that wasn't Hobbs, that was... I don't know the colours on that car. Holtzman, not H, at least got that bit right. Being lapped by some cars, and it's just getting out of the way well and truly. I say that, and then... that wasn't the smartest of moves coming across the braking zone like that. I realise you do need to make the corner, but you have committed to the inside. Yeah, that wasn't the smartest of moves. I don't know if that will get reported to the stewards or not. As we see Smith still on the tail of Hobson in the two Fords here. Just having a right good battle. I still need to get used to saying that there's a Ford running a GT3. I know they have a big racing pedigree. They obviously took it in the 60s to Ferrari and gave them what for. I mean, there's a whole backstory to what happened to Ferrari as to why they ended up running the car they did. There's more through that story than Ford just turning up with a monster and beating them. As Hobbs gets a bit of a bad run through turn 1 there, and that has left it open for Smith for a nice drag. This is a drag race and a half down to turn 2 now, up the hill. Who's got the legs on the brakes? Who's can do what? Ooh, just desperately trying to get on the brakes. Both. Just gets into the back of Hobson, but Smith, sorry. Hobbs gets into the back of Smith. But Smith is well clear and through there. So, very well done. Can anything happen on the way back through? I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. So, that is clear now. That's going to be interesting for both these cars. The Ford not got the most sensitive front end aero, but it does have a nice big rear diffuser. So, yeah. Hopefully that damage on the back of Smith's car isn't too major and can keep going there. That will be an interesting one to see as that progresses, how much they end up shredding their rear tyres due to the rear aero damage there. That is actually about the only major battle on track, as Albers and Jar are both... Jar was disqualified, so we'll just be in the pits. Albers is out and rolling from their pit stop and is off the limiter. That looks like somebody has taken out the exit pit limiter. Hopefully, nobody has taken out the pit limiter on pit entrance. I can't see that. I have to see if next time somebody dives into the pits, what happens there. Younger Vandover is on. Was hovering around the, under a second mark, but that's just stretched out. Hobson now over half a second back from Smith. In the Mustang. So, you're part of that crew. Fair enough. I can't remember whether we've done any events with Takalicious. We do see your events on SimGrid. So, welcome to the community. I hope you're enjoying this one. See, we do go and play around in other servers as well when we want to go racing. If there's anything that's out there that catches our eye, we'll go do it. As Coltrene's in, just dropped off the jacks and is rolling. So in terms of who gets more, you will end up with more if you end up catching the eye of the stewards. Do something dumb, they're gonna see it, and you're gonna get pinged for it. Whether it's done by accident or done by on purpose, you'll get pinged for it. So that is called treeing out the pits. As we have Youngover Vanderver? I am hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Please feel free to correct us in the relevant places. That would be actually genuinely helpful. Some of the names are amazing, but truly horrible to try and pronounce with an English accent and struggling to read. So you are doing very well catching up with Tons. Oh, bit of a big close up on the brakes there, down the hill on the BMW. BMW surprisingly good on the brakes. To manage to do that is possibly a little outbreaky. But not doing too badly. It has lost a bit more time there, as Transky has just pitted, as has Hausler. It's a long shot, but I'm genuinely curious as to whether your name is related to Mr. Hausler. But there is some kayak races named after. Just drops behind Albers now. And Olsen and Coltrene. So who's the first? Bamber is still the highest placed car to have pitted. Having said that, Mark has just pitted out of, I think that was 9th or 10th. So that will be interesting where you file out. Where is... Might come out. That's quite a long stop. I'm assuming you're taking tyres. Oh no, you had penalty as well to serve, so that's that. Will you drop behind Barbara? I'm gonna go with that. I'm hoping for the best. As Liz has just got been passed by Chrome. In the Audi there, so that I didn't entirely see what that was. I think that was a fairly straightforward, just being dragged out the first corner, and that one is the Audi is away and clear. As Transky is on the roll, as you are now as well. So you're gonna come out ahead of. No, you dropped down to 16th on my timing screen. So you are. Barbara is still the highest placed car without a who has pitted in car 12. Hobbs and Smith battle has continued. The gap has closed back up. That's a big twitch from the Mustang coming out of turn 2 there. That's opened that gap up as Vandover is now into the pits. Had's got a 5-second penalty to serve at their pit stop, so that's going to drop them down quite a bit, probably behind Smith. somewhere into the battle with Smith and Hobbs, depending on how long their pit stop is. Donkerwalk has come out. Ooh, the front of your car does not look happy. Ooh, drive-through. That was causing a drive-through. Car 65, causing a collision with car 27, lap 15. 5 seconds, car 27, typing in chat. Oh dear. Don't do that. You get 5 seconds for it. You were warned, the driver briefing. That is entirely your own fault. You've managed to do something quite serious to car 65. That's one of you. Holtzman managing. Oh, that was probably for that incident which. Yeah, 27. I think that was the incident where they came across in the braking zone. There, as Coltrini gets past Gartem, can Gartem get anything back on the brakes into turn 2, up the hill, ooh, tries to do something, gets it all scrolled up on the curbs, managed to keep it out of each other's doors there. No, that looks like that is clear for Coltrini. As I'm 33. Oh yeah, car 30. 33, you've been stopped for a while. Which is a heck of a team name. I'm not going to repeat that one. On YouTube, as Gartem, keeping that gap reasonably tight, tries to send it. No, that's not where you're supposed to be. That's really not where you're supposed to be. You need to keep it on the black stuff, not the sandy stuff. The sandy stuff does not go well. Does very well, actually, in honesty, to keep that in check. As we see, Morganella has dived into the pits from there. So that puts Barbara now putting himself back up to 11th as the pit stops cycle through. Junior, they will jump Junior well and truly. There is 10 seconds extra that they're going to have to serve. As Morganella has a very short stop, I'm assuming that was a splash of fuel and no more. So, should be able to jump with a few people who have had damage, penalties, etc. Is behind Gartem but hasn't pitted, and Gartem has a 15-second penalty. Morganella behind a number of cars. Fiat in the Ferrari car 25 does have a 10-second penalty, but he's only about 6 seconds back from that car, so we shall see what happens. As that Hobson battle is not done. That gap, it's fluctuating, but it's still roughly around where it should be. Really, it's Had's just dived into the pits. Okay, no, at least the board is there for entry. Still, I'm not 100% sure whether there was a board still on the exit, but that's slightly less needed. Yeah, this battle with... No, that's not. That is Hobbs. Hobson who dropped right back. Hasn't pitted, but has dropped quite a long way back. I'm assuming there was a mistake there that we didn't see. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing all the yellow flags working. Something changed in one of the updates, and it means yellow flags no longer work. As Had is in the pits there, so Hobson has evidently had an issue and is now back behind Magwalski, which has released Smith out to just keep running there now. So who is on where in terms of... you're just coming to start that lap. Your lap there. Okay, first is coming around to catch up with Bambra now on that one. So Had... Bambra has jumped Had in the pit stop cycle there as well. So Bambra doing quite a lot of work there to jump back up the leaderboards, as Gartem has got a drive through. Now we have another disqualification as well. Drive-through for car 42 causing a collision with car 31, lap 21. Disqualification car 64 causing a collision with car 26, lap 21. People being very, very naughty. And not doing what they should be doing and having all sorts of problems. There's plenty of space out on track. For the most part, you shouldn't really be causing too much, as Gartem is now into the pits as well, out of, I think, somewhere around 17th, 18th mark. Olsen still has two, I believe still has two. No, Olsen has pitted. So Bambra in 10th now of RVR racing. In car number 12 there is in 10th, which is the highest placed car having pitted. So everybody in front does have to pit still. So we'll see how much time that car makes up as everybody else does. So Gartem, I did have Gartem on my radar as pitting. Doesn't look like it served a. Oh, is that car 42? No, car 42 serving a drive-through. And you still have to serve your pit stop. Oh dear, you're not having a fun time at all. My suggestion would be go and serve your pit stop. At this point, ignore the damage limitation. As Hobson now behind Magorski and trying to catch up. P8 does have penalties. P8 Radwitz. No, P8 is Radwitz's car 11 Ferrari, watching them now. Doesn't Junior car in 9th. Does have penalties of 10 seconds, so we'll have to serve those in their next pit stop, as Hobson has dived into the pit. So this is first of the top 10 properly to hit now. Doesn't have any penalties to serve. We'll see where they come out in relation to everybody else. No, P8, yeah, P8 doesn't have penalties. After that one. So Hobson comes out in 9th and is rolling nicely there. I was probably just going a little bit quieter. There was just watching a few things going on. So Tempest is now in the pits as well, which is out of the lead. So where do you file in? You're taking a chunk of fuel. Do you take tyres? That's the question. That might be a tyre stop looking at that. Down and away, rolling is down to 4th now. That looked like a bit of a long stop, possibly a little more than fuel required at that stop. So that puts Vanbrugh now inside of a second on Brackstad. Brackstad has not made their pit stop yet. May very well go long with that car to try and minimise damage against those around. But that puts Brackstad into first. Vanbrugh is right behind with Smith following. So Tempest now is 5th on track overall, which is the highest placed car that has pitted. So Junior, Mogorski and Radwitz are 3 behind them that have to pit. So we'll see where they file out. But Fernando, Smith, Vanbrugh and Brackstad are all to pit. At this point, as Mark is in touch with Donkervalk now. This within 0.4 of a second, can they catch up to Donkervalk and make any difference there? Donkervalk had a big chunk of damage as Afia is right on the tail now of Olsen. What happens here? Olsen stays in the middle of the track, forcing lots of moving around by Afia to try and get past. Doesn't manage to make it happen. actually cost themselves a big pile of time wiggling around that much. Afiat does have 10 seconds, so does need to make sure they get past. All Olsen has to do is to stay within. Ooh, that was not good, Afiat. That's not what you want to do. How long does it take to pit? There's no fixed refueling time. You just have to take fuel. So there's no tyres. Normally, fuel and tyres is about 30 seconds. Because there's no requirement to take tyres, and there's no minimum fuel time, basically you could fill up bar like a lap's worth of fuel, so 2 or 3 seconds, and just pit for that. I think a number of people are stopping for roughly half a tank, or they're running for about 3/4 of the time with about 3/4 of the tank full, and then putting the last little bit in to get them through to the end. Like I say, anything around the 30-second mark stopped time will usually be for tyres as well taken within that, which is an interesting one. You could take tyres and hope you can make the time up, as we see Coltrini having a bad day. Didn't see what caused you to go off, but saw you coming back on. Yeah, so there's no, this one, unlike others, there's no requirement to take kind of to some degree a fixed time stop. It's just dictated by how much fuel you throw in, and any penalties that you have to serve. As Tons is on the back of Tempest now. I think Tons had got past. Is that Tempest? No. Tons is on the back of Had. I think Had managed to get through on track on merit, so that's interesting. Vanbrugh has pitted as well and is into 5th. So that's that one. Junior's in the pits now, so probably drop behind Hobson. So yeah, pit stop is as little time as it takes. It's about 30-ish seconds. Pit limit line to pit limit line, so you're probably looking about 40-45 seconds or so total in the pit lane between crossing into to take your pit stop, slowing down and getting back up, and coming out from behind the pit wall onto this onto the run up to turn 2. So yeah, Smith is as yet to pit. Brackstad has completed their pit stop, only dropped into 2nd. No, it has dropped into 4th, sorry. I was looking at the wrong timing tower there. So Brackstad has now pitted, but has, more importantly, no, Tempest has come out in front by about 2 seconds. So what can Brackstad do now in the latter part of this race? Has he managed to save enough tyres in that Porsche to come back and make that gap up? You've got 14 seconds. Anything is possible. Having said that, Tempest did do a 29.027 and also holds the fastest lap of the race with a 28.347. So that will be an interesting one to see who can manage to hang on to what. Personal best for Had, 128.440. Vagnova is 29.580 as a personal best last time by. So yeah, people are still putting in decent lap times for this point in the race. Like I say, I don't think there's many people taking tyres in the pit stops just because of how much time they will lose. This does leave Smith and Fernando out in front, but yet to take their pit stops. So they might be, I think at this point, you've got to run to basically the last moment you can the pit now for this one. And go from there. And Junior is on the back of Donkerwalk still, as is Morganella is right on the tail of Coltrini as well. So we'll keep an eye on both of those. Morganella is a little closer to Coltrini than Junior is to, don't I say that, Donkerwalk. Junior has closed right up under the rear wing of the Donkerwalk. coming down out turn 2 now across the top of the course. Right down under brakes. Ooh, back mark. They are back markers to Braxstad. That looks like Junior has just bailed on that one well and truly, let Braxstad through, and now has so much work to do. Having said that, if they can use Braxstad opening that door and slowing down to make a move work on Donkerwalk. Indeed, Donkerwalk runs wide. This puts them right back under the rear wing. And Junior got the run now on Donkerwalk down into this penultimate corner. Indeed is underneath, but covers the apex off beautifully. Doesn't let Donkerwalk get a switch back underneath them on the exit, and is away and clear. So we'll jump back to that Morganella battle with Coltrini now. So yes, Morganella just moving around a little bit, just trying to upset Coltrini. Coltrini runs wide there on the exit. Morganella starting her, trying to push back underneath, loses a bit of time, I think possibly trying to move around a bit too much, having a bit of a look where there's not really much of a chance. Might be worth just hanging on to the back of them a little bit longer before diving in to really try and upset what they're doing. Looks like that gap does come down reasonably quickly, so I'm guessing you've got the speed on that car in front. Fernando and Hobson has now hit sorry, no, that would be Elias. Elias and Smith are yet. Elias, Fernando and Smith are as yet to hit. As is Magorski. Magorski is still there in 6th with that Honda. I'm guessing those three are running to the absolute limit on time to pit. Much like we saw last time out at Suzuka, they basically pitted on the last lap for a very short splash of fuel and dive for those two. So I mean, that is a theory, as I say, run for basically the entire race, or put in like a couple of laps worth of fuel just to get you through the start and dive and run long that way, or you run long before you pit and you dive in as late as you can. As we see, Donkerwalk has now been... Ooh, you had a bit of an off-track excursion. What happened here? Junior is through by that point. Didn't see entirely what happened to let Junior through. But also you have Van Bradley ahead of you. Oh, gets it deep under the brake, completely misses your braking point, and has to just exit out across the middle of the corner. Very well done not to collect anybody there. I have to say that would have been very easy to cause absolute carnage and dive into the middle of those. As Had now is having a move on Radwitz and gets it done around the outside. Can have Radwitz make anything stick on the exit? No, gets hung up to dry, squeezed in tight, can't get on the power on the exit, and that is Had through for 9th place. Morganella right on the back of Coltrini. This is the point you want to start looking around. Coltrini not looking entirely comfortable with that BMW, runs very wide. Does manage to stay ahead. I think Morganella may have just lifted out slightly there to let Coltrini back on, but that's a battle that's going to keep going. Drops away now to 0.6 of a second, so we shall see what happens. I feel like I'm being cursed as a commentator here for you. Is that every time you get close I go, ooh, what's going on? And I end up looking at you and you end up dropping back. It's the closest battle on track now, so we shall stick with it. How is Braxstad doing trying to catch up to... Braxstad is 3 seconds back on Tempest, so as Smith now, with 7 minutes 42, dives into the pits for their pit stop. Now, what happens here? There's a whole bunch of... Oh, that's some... all sorts of funky lag just happened. Drops down behind Braxton. Fourth place is rolling. Where is fifth? Goes past now. Magwalski, I'm assuming, will go past, having not hit it yet. Yep, goes past now as they're off the limiter and rolling. That means Hobson is the next car on track, but is way back in time on that one. So that is Smith needs to make up a 3-second gap on Magwalski, although Magwalski does have to hit. Vanbrugh has pitted, but will be quite a long way ahead. So that leaves Fernando now to make their pit stop with 6.5 minutes to go. When do you dive for the pits? That is the question. How was that Morganella battle going? Coltrini Morganella. Ooh, that's exciting. I come back. Well done for having a look. Seriously, well done for having a look. Sticking your nose in up the inside. Well done for not really making any kind of contact or taking each other out. It's not easy when you're that close to each other. So, very well done there. Nicely done. We'll see how this goes. As I say, this is barring the pit stop battles, essentially this is currently the closest battle on track. For position, as Coltrini has a bit of a wiggle there in front. Upsets their car, they run deep and run wide on the exit. Ooh, has a big slide. Morganella managed to hang on to that with a big clout to the door there. Very well done to both of you for not making that any worse than it was. Probably not how you'd have liked to have got through and got that position, but very well done for hanging on to the car. Doesn't look like it's done too much damage. It was a bit of a clout to the door, but looks pretty good. Well, that's that. Had and Bambra now are on terms with each other. Had is having a bit of a resurgence now at the end of this race. They haven't got enough back in the tank to fight back against these faster cars. As we are down inside of 5 minutes to go now, Mogorski and Elliot Fernando have yet to pit. As Had is trying to get up the inside. Who's got the brakes? They're both in the same car. Had goes for it. Can Bambra make a move back on the inside? No, they can't. Oh, covers that one off beautifully. I mean, to some degree, the track covers you off the inside off quite nicely on the exit. Just that big lump as you come up from the middle of the corner. Covers the inside off nicely. Bambra having a little bit of a look on the way back through, but doesn't look like it's able to make it. As I say, I think this may be a car that has taken tyres, because they are looking so much faster. They have just pulled away to the tune of half a second already to Bambra now. So that is, and they are continuing to pull away. So like I say, I think that may be a car that's made the strategic call from where they were to take tyres. Pit slightly earlier, so but they've still got plenty of traction into this lap to the end of this race. As Donkerwalk has managed to get a drive-through. That I'm assuming is track limit. 5 seconds car set to push past on car 91 lap 30. Didn't see which one that is. Car 30. Where are you in the timing sheets? Car 30. Don't know. As Fernando has just dived into the pit, releasing Tempest and Braxton. So this is going with 2 minutes 50 to go. This is going to be a seriously short stop. This is basically going to be stop, fuel, down, go. That's longer than I was expecting. Slightly longer than I was expecting. Possibly a little bit of damage they got fixed. Possibly a little bit of more fuel than expected in that car. As Magorski has also dived into the pits. As we see Donkhawk there serving their drive-through. Fernando has dropped out into 5th place. Behind Smith has 15 seconds to make up. No, I say that, the back down. That time's just tumbling at the moment. That's obviously different on track. I will keep an eye on where that is as they both cross timing markers and across the line. As Mongorski is out and rolling, has dropped behind Hobbs. He isn't going to have a huge gap, but with 1:50 to go, there was a risk. It was a bit of a risk there to do that one. To make that one work out. For pitting so late, but has managed to stay in the top 10, is now in 7th. So has managed to stay in the top 10, so that's not bad going. Whew. As Morganella has Kriln for company. Looked like Kriln had just got past Morganella. Can Morganella do anything to make that back up? I didn't think Kriln was that close. But apparently so. Morganella has managed to pick up 5 seconds, but so has Kron. So this is effectively an on-track battle. Both of them will pick up 5 seconds, regardless. So as long as they both can stay ahead of Coltrini by 5 seconds, they won't lose out any positions on track post-race. 10 seconds for Afia. Donkovalk's got 5 seconds still, so that's them going to mix things up a little bit. Afia, I think, is going to be the one that will drop behind Morganella, so that should put Morganella up into 18th by the end of this. As race leader hasn't quite started their last lap. They are 1:10, so they're about to start their last lap. Shortly, as they are coming past 137 and car 60, I think that is. Putting a lap on car 60. Is that another lap on car 60? Or is that just where they've got to? No, I think that's just where they've got to. In terms of putting a lap on each other. 60 there, not desperately trying not to go a lap down, but has to yield in the end with that one. You'll see this car as there isn't much expecting to happen on track. So we'll just follow the leader through for their final lap, and then we'll follow people through as they come through. We have Tempest here has done a wonderful job with that, managing to qualify first, get a bit of a break on that Porsche, and then kind of just hold that 2.5 second gap all the way through, even through the pit stops there. So very well done. Barring a mistake in the dying seconds of this race, this looks like it is Tempest's win. Coming through the penultimate corner, beautifully done, as to some degree to be expected. Take it easy, you've got 2.5 seconds in spare. Moves over, has a bit of a wiggle coming down the pit straight, and across the line. Very well done. That is Brackstad. Tempest, Brackstad, and Vanbrugh is going to be the next car through. To finish, Smith just coming onto the pit straight now, followed by Elias, who's just coming out of the penultimate corner down into this actually surprising tricky section right at the end of the lap there, and that is your top 5 across the line, with Elias Fernando in second there, in 5th, Hobson due to come through in 6th, with Magwalski in tow. He's done well to close that gap. Done really well to close that gap. That was a couple of seconds. Anything going to happen at the end? Not quite, not close enough, but does give it a damn good go. Right in the death there. There will be driver interviews, so if anybody does want to come and say hello, would love to have a chat with you. As Tont is going to come through to round out the top 10 in the BMW. Very well done there. Hasler is coming through to round out the top 20. Liss Alafia is due to come through now. And that is, I believe, everybody finished. Well done to everybody. Indeed, good work. Enjoy any celebratory donuts that you would like to do. Grab a drink, do whatever. If you want to come and have a chat, by all means do so. I'm just pushing all the wrong buttons. That's the one we want. Yes, feel free to come and have a chat and see who's well. I'm just going to scroll up and stop looking at that bit of the Discord. We have somebody there. Good evening and welcome, and a very well done.
Thank you very much. I dragged the Honda quite high into the rankings.
Indeed, you were Magorski? I hope I've got that right.
We can settle for Patrick.
Fair enough. Apologies. Yeah, very well done. I don't think you had any penalties at the end of that, so it looks like you've come home in 7th.
Yes, I think I didn't do anything shady, so I think it's safe 7th place. Yeah, it was pretty, like, I had a few battles. Actually, I planned on doing much more practice than I actually did. I did like maybe 2 hours of practice overall, and hey, it came out quite good. I wasn't actually very fast, but I didn't do major mistakes. People were fighting quite a lot. I was trying to avoid it, so it just kind of played in my hands.
Yeah, fair enough. Very well done. As I say, managing to pull that car into the top 10 well and truly got up into 7th. And looked like you came out of the pits there at the end of that, and you were flying up behind Hobson in the Ford. I didn't expect you to be that close by the end of it.
Yeah, thank you. I actually just, as I was saying, I did very little practice and I haven't played ACC in like a week. So, like, basically I just came from work. I just wasn't even able to eat whole pizza I got and just hopped into the rig. And so basically, I gained space as I was driving because I was basically practicing rather than racing on my full potential. But yeah, I'm actually quite sweaty. The Honda is just very stressful to drive, especially in the dirty air. Because of the short wheelbase, I was basically sideways all last sector, every single lap. Don't get me wrong, it's extremely fun, but it's also very stressy.
Indeed. I have to say, we've been having a bit of a go in it for some races we've got coming up. And yeah, it's a lot of fun to drive. But yeah, it does suddenly come over very Japanese and want to go sideways.
Yeah, I definitely fell victim to it at Suzuka. Especially, I did one very major change because I noticed that, at least in a Honda, like brake pads 1 affects the tire temperatures like very much, especially in dirty air. I struggle with it a lot in Suzuka because I was using brake pads 1 and brake pads 1 and I basically overheated the rears and I was drifting all over the place and my race was done within the first 10 minutes. But here I decided to, sacrifice a bit of performance, select second brake pads, and it helped me manage temperatures.
Yeah.
And it was much more, manageable.
Indeed. It sounds like you've had a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, it was plenty of fun. I loved it.
Excellent. Well, I'm trying to remember what the next round is, and I have forgotten. I did look it up, and now I've forgotten. That's always a good sign.
It's second round, this scheduling.
Is which one, sorry?
The Red Bull Ring was second round of this championship.
Yes, I was just trying to remember what the next one was, and I did have it written down.
Kalami?
That sounds plausible.
Maybe, I don't remember.
I did look this up, and then I closed the tab, so I don't actually cut it up.
It is Kalami.
Marvellous. Yes, how do you feel about Kailami?
Very mediocre, I think. I mean, I'm not bad, not good around there, but I have passed of a lot of suicides for the scarp of death, second to last corner. So
yeah, that one is lively. Let's put it that way. It's a very
I suffer
easy.
from African PTSD.
Yeah, it's a very easy way to end up off track. So.
Yeah, and broke your suspension and go into other guys and slam into the wall and all sorts of adventures I had at Kalami.
Indeed. Well, best of luck for next week then. And I'm glad it sounds like you had a really good time out there tonight. So yeah, very well done, and best of luck for next week. And we shall see you. We'll see you at Kailami then.
Yeah, surely. Thank you very much, and good night.
Good night. Awesome. Yes, if anybody else does want to come and join it, feel free to. I'll keep everything open and running for a little bit longer. That was an exciting race. There was plenty going on all over the place for everybody. So that's good fun. I hope everybody has enjoyed tonight who's been in chat. I will just pull chat back up. I'm just having a quick skim through. I'm gonna go with. I'm not quite sure what cat you mean by cat, but okay. Yeah, if you. I am sorry. Feel free to check your the files on Awesome Sim Racing. I did everything to restart that one to make sure. Oh, P3 from the pits. Went for a P and missed the formation lap before the restart. Oh, that is a skill and a half. Well done. Nicely done. Hope you enjoyed the rest of the race. I had a bit fight back on that one. What was I? So yes, it is lovely to see everybody out there. As I say, there is a couple of categories. Didn't really mention it this one. There was 3 categories out there: pro, pro-am, and am out there. So I think we only had a couple of am drivers out there tonight, but they were out there having a lot of fun. I didn't have the list of who ended up where. Do I still have race control open? It only has. I reset. I didn't have the end of that one. But yes, very well done to everybody there who was out enjoying things. And we shall have a quick look and see if anybody else is wanting to come join. Looks like that might be it for this evening. Well done to everybody who was out there and racing tonight. Sorry there hasn't been more interviews. Feel free to come say hello. and come have a chat. But I think that might be most of everybody that's going to come and say hello. So, that's the one I want. For everybody here at Toga, thank you for watching along. Thank you for liking, subscribing, all of that jazz. It does make us feel very good. It also helps the algorithm and helps keep Toga running. We all do this voluntarily. So all your likes, subscribes, views, etc. pay are what keep the lights on here and keep everybody going and keep all the servers open. So big thank you to everybody that has done all of that. Feel free to have a look through. I think there's a new Togcast that came out from Mac with, I think it was Ollie. So go check that out. They're always a good fun one. And yeah, enjoy. And we'll catch you. The next round that is coming up will be, that's going to be on. Is tomorrow. What is it tomorrow? It is the. It's the Duo Cup. That's what it is. So that is the SRO Duo Cup tomorrow. You'll have Mac and Hayden on that one. So hopefully that is the SRO official races. So I hope everybody enjoys. Will come and join us for that one, and we shall see you. I'm not quite sure when we're next going to be back on comms, but go and send some love in the general direction of Mac and Hayden tomorrow night, and we shall bid you good night for now. Thank you very much for watching.